talk about credit cards. Credit cards get a really bad rep. At least I know they do in my family. And honestly, I think it's because people don't understand them very well or are afraid of debt or just flat out believe that credit cards are a scam.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, some credit cards have terms that are just insane, don't get me wrong. But there are some out there that are reasonable and that are really into helping you build credit. You just have to do your research and find what credit card suits your needs best. So let's start with the basics. What is a credit card and how do you get one? Well, a credit card is simply a card the bank gives you to borrow money from them, but you have a limit on how much you can borrow at a time. This is called your credit limit. How do you get one? Well, you basically fill out an application for the specific card you would like to get approved for, where you give them your name and a bunch of other personal information, and most importantly, how much money you make per month or per year. Because keep in mind that it is very unlikely that they will approve you for a credit card if they don't think you make enough money to pay back what you borrow.
Show me the money.
Now, the key word here is borrow. And unlike when you borrow money from the bank of mom and dad, you will have to pay that money back.
Rats.
And you will have to pay a little extra for borrowing that money. And that is called interest. And it is a percent of the money you borrow. If you don't pay all the money back that you borrowed before the billing cycle is over, you will have to pay interest.
Give me some good news, man.
If you do pay it all back, you usually don't have to pay anything extra.
That's some good news. That's good news. Great.
But that's not true for all credit cards though, so make sure to do your research.
Well, so much for that.
Now, if you want to learn more about credit card interest, make sure to check out the article I left for you in the article section. When you get approved, you may get a credit limit that is higher than the amount of money that you would normally spend on a regular basis. But that doesn't mean that you should borrow all of it just because you can. I highly recommend that you start by using your credit card for stuff that you already spend money on, like gas or groceries or stuff like that. Remember the spreadsheet we talked about when I talked about debit cards? It would really be good practice to add to the amount spent column the money that you spend on a credit card and pretend as if you actually spent it from your checking account and don't count on that money for anything else other than to pay your credit card off. I will leave a link to the spreadsheet again on the article section. Now, you're probably asking yourself,
What's the point?
why not just use my debit card? Well, the main reason is to build credit. In the future, when you try to make a large purchase like buying a car or a house, how are banks supposed to know that you're good at paying back what you borrow? Well, you gotta show them. And using a credit card responsibly is a great first step in building that trust, which we call credit.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I hope this gives you a general idea of what a credit card is and how to use it wisely. Remember that you never want to put yourself in a position where you can't pay back the money that you borrowed on a credit card, because for one, that will cost you a lot of money, and for two, it will damage your credit, and your credit is used by other lenders to determine if you're worth lending money to. So keep that in mind.
I'll do my best.
And speaking of lending money, another way you can borrow money from the bank is by taking an installment loan. And in the next video, we'll talk about the types of loans that are out there, how to get approved for one, and how to avoid paying tons of money on interest. I'll see you there.